Welcome everybody to Sunrise Birding for Life practice. Here we are on December 2nd, the 11th week of autumn. We're coming into winter now. I've been gone for a while, but you can get on Facebook and see all our live videos from our sun parakeet count in Guyana, South America. So welcome here today to this practice. We're not going to see the sunrise today. Take a look there. It would normally be coming up right behind you where that white post is you see behind my head. And it's just raining and it's going to rain all morning and it's cool. So we're just going to see the gradual light easing into our lives. So what's going on with the sky and the birds where you are? Where we are, migration has officially ended at the end of November. You can't even get on the migration dashboard anymore to see who's gone over because we're towards the end here. We have our winter birds, we have our winter wren, and we have our yellow-bellied sapsucker here in this area. And we did a bird walk down in Colombia on the Saluda River and saw all kinds of things. The birds are hopping here, even though we are coming up to the darkest, shortest day of the year. And this makes night viewing so well. In the early morning, you can see Mercury, the planet, over there in the east. We're not going to see it today, and Jupiter's high in the sky. And this Thursday will be a super moon, a full moon. And we're coming into some meteor showers this week, but we'll talk more about this later. So wherever you are, take a moment to look up, look out, find the moon if the clouds are not covering. It is almost full. Like I said, it'll be full on Thursday. So, and what are the birds doing where you are? Let us go with our reading for today. That's going to continue the theme of gratefulness because here in the United States, it's Thanksgiving, or we just passed that weekend. So gratitude, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And when I think of gratitude, I think of this poem from E. Cummings. I thank you, God, for this most amazing day, the leaping green spirits of trees and the blue true dream of the sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. And so saying yes to the world out there and being in gratitude and being out in the world. We know this, even if you don't want to go for a walk or don't want to be outside, you still get benefits for it. Even if you're not really tracking a bird, but your subconscious is, people report greatest life satisfaction in areas with greatest bird diversity. So get out and celebrate the birds. Be intentional about connecting to them because just maybe it'll work into a slow practice of satisfaction, and not just for you, but for caring for the whole world. So human beings aren't the only ones who show gratitude. We don't really know what another person or being is thinking, but they really feel that when crows or ravens bring shiny objects and little pieces of maybe jewelry and deposit it in people's homes, maybe people who have been feeding them or in the backyard, they feel this is a form of gratitude. And some even say that when crows swoop down and fly and interact with you, that perhaps that too is some form of gratitude. What do you think you have seen in the animals that express gratitude? Maybe the purring of a cat, maybe a bowing of a dog in playful mode. Do you see that? Humans also show gratitude and we have so many benefits. This is the science portion of we try to relate to science to the natural world during this time of our gathering. So what can gratitude do for you? Well, there's so much. They found that if you keep a gratitude journal for a couple weeks, maybe like every night, write down 3 things that you're grateful for, has lasting benefits. And what are some of these benefits? Well, happiness, it boosts happiness, it helps regulate negative or harsh emotions, resilience, reduces stress and anxiety, improves relationships, can lower the blood pressure. Need I go on? Let me go on. I even have to look at my list of so many things. Stronger immunity, increased energy. So it triggers neurotransmitters that help us connect, like dopamine and serotonin. And this can have healing properties for us. So saying thanks is a practice. It's a nature practice. It's a bird practice. Because when we have greater gratitude, we're healthier. We can care for the world more. And birds are just a great vehicle for saying thanks to. Well, when we led the bird walk this weekend, so what about birds are you grateful for? Be specific. What need of yours is it meeting? And I don't know. Why don't we just pause for a moment? Maybe where you are, you've got some birds, or you can imagine some birds. Let's just breathe for a moment, shall we? And I'm going to turn around and look outside. I thought I heard a bird, but I wasn't quite sure what this was. And as in all our practices, interrupt me, interrupt each other if we see a bird and ask about it. So let's see if I see anything or hear anything. I just hear the rain falling. I have the Merlin application running in the background, maybe to pick up some birds while I'm talking. The Merlin application is a free application that can pick up fairly accurately and identify birds just by listening to them. So what specifically about birds are you grateful for? The beauty, the sense of connection, liberation. I, for one, am grateful for birds because it gives me this to care for them, to know about them, and to share them. So that's one reason why I am just one of many, and they keep me such good company. So who else can we give thanks to in terms of birds? How can we give thanks in terms of birds when maybe we look at birds and we see loss or problems? But we can be grateful for the teams that come together to help us save our birds, bring our birds back. And we don't ever know what the outcome of the story is about what we might be able to save. Take the American, the turkey here that we have in North America, again, kind of coming off of Thanksgiving. We don't eat turkeys, we eat tofurkey, we eat fake turkey. At one point, there weren't very many of them left in North America. Maybe just, oh, I don't know. They were down to only being in 18 of the original states. Maybe just, I don't know, 30,000 or so. So we were in trouble with them, but they did a very concerted conservation effort, collecting fees from hunters and people repopulating them. And now we have over 7 million. We see them here. Out here where we are, and they are also hunted here in our area. So we can be grateful for what we're able to do for birds. How can we be grateful? This is sort of asking yourself to extend your gratitude practice in the midst of loss. And we know we're losing so many bird species and so many biodiversity. I would like to read part of a poem called Thanks, and it's by W.S. Merwin. With the animals dying around us, taking our feelings, we are saying thank you. With the forest falling faster than the minutes of our lives, we are saying thank you. With the cities growing over us, we are saying thank you faster and faster. With nobody listening, I don't have anyone on right now. We are saying thank you, thank you. Though we are saying and waving, thank you. We are saying as we wave, dark though it is. So how can we be grateful in the midst of so much perplexity and loss and confusion and fear in our lives? Perhaps we can look to the birds. As Terry Tempest Williams says, I pray to the birds, because they remind us that beauty always is. It's always present. There's always more to the story than currently what our brains are telling us. There's so much going on. And so how can we be grateful in the midst of so much loss? let me just tell a brief story. I said I'd be reporting on how it went when I was in Guyana and Suriname for almost a month. I got back last week. And so what was going on there? So we've been working with an indigenous village in Suriname where trapping and exportation of parrots is legal. And there's also a fair amount of illegality and corruption that's all mixed into that together. And this village was on a river where there were many blue and yellow macaws and other species. So the trappers would come along the river because they could access this part of the region because it's fairly jungle and trails are hard to get into. So they could come on the river, climb in the trees, and trap the parrots. And the village decided to quit trapping and become parakeet or parrot rangers instead. And so they wouldn't let trappers on the river. They themselves quit because they were earning an income as rangers. And we did this for about 3 years. And the country had put a moratorium, a limit on trapping some of the species. And then COVID was here. So it's basically like 5 years of ending trapping. Well, the village decided when I was there to not continue with an official conservation program. They wanted to have the freedom to return to their old ways of being sustenance farmers and hunters and fishermen and food trappers. And of course, for my part, I was willing to work with them for generations, and we still might in some ways. But for right now, some of them may go back to trapping. So loss, parrots, so much harm to families of parrots that have trapped from the wild and moved all over the world. So many parrots die and suffer because of this. And the local people don't make that much money. It's the middlemen and buyers that do. So, right, I could tell a story of, and there is that tragedy, but let's talk about the beauty. They have more parrots now than they did 5 years. They've seen it. They are leaving up signs that say no trapping on the river. They want to protect. They may do some opportunistic trapping of the parrot, but they're going to discourage others from coming and trapping there. And during this time, I got to know the culture, this indigenous village. I got to know the parrots. I saw such beauty. So for me, how can I keep from saying thank you? Thank you, even when it's dark, that there is so much beauty. There's a seed for joyousness and happiness in the future. So let us practice gratitude today. Wherever you are, can you think of 3 things that you are grateful for? Can you be specific? Can you talk about what need that fits? Like for me, it was purpose, beauty, the well-being of other species. Write them down if you want. Oh, share them with someone else. This is a part of social intelligence. Let's share our gratitude. Let's have the shared reality of what all of us appreciate. Can you think of something that you appreciate even when it's not a story of all light and beauty? What in the midst of darkness and loss might you be able to say that you are grateful for? And so these are our questions for the week. To whom or to what would you like to say thank you that perhaps you're behind schedule on? Where do you find it difficult to be grateful or say thank you? And to whom can you go to today or to where and give thanks for this world? I'm going to check our Merlin. I still haven't heard anybody. Let's see if anyone's there. Oh, it's just rain. Can we be grateful for the rain and the cold, nourishing the earth with the water, the sense of rest? No birds today, but I know they're there. No people with me today except on the recording, but I know you're there. So thank you for being here. And there are many ways to say thanks in words, in presence, in caring for yourself, caring for this planet, and caring for birds. Many ways to return our gratefulness. So our time is at the end. We'll be in 2 days on the full moon. We'll be here. Full moon, it's going to be at 6 a.m. So it'll be right before we come on. And next week, we're also going to have a sunrise service. And then we're going to Nicaragua. And you can catch some live celebrations of birds and people while you're there. So again, we say thank you. And to end with our closing words, there are many ways to do it. Why not just a bow? Science shows that this connects us to humility and compassion and helps us connect to people. So with this, a bow of gratitude to the world, to you, and to life. And there were our first birds, 3 crows. American crows just went over. Maybe you were able to see them and pick them up on the video. They're still calling out there. Thank you, crows.